Donald Trump, and they believe Joe Biden's a better.
Well,
as much as I agree
hold us accountable
that
for
Donald Trump needs to be defeated, 42% of my supporters said they would not support the Democratic nominee in the general, in large part because when I ran for the problems that predated Trump. Like, Donald Trump would never be our president today if things were going well for a lot of people around the country. Bernie Sanders would not have almost been the nominee last time if things were going well for people around the country. So even as Joe Biden's saying, hey, we need to defeat Donald Trump, he also has to say, look, things have not been working for millions of Americans. And after we defeat Donald Trump, we need to get deep into these problems, get our hands dirty, and solve them. And so this can't be like a, hey, I'm better than Trump race. It has to be, hey, I understand how Trump became our president.
And you think he's not done that in the primaries?
You know, I think he's been talking in a lot of moral language about restoring a culture and tone and the soul of the country. I was talking about trying to put money into Americans' hands because I saw that we've decimated entire ways of life in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And because I was talking in those terms about the real problems that these people have experienced, again, 42% of my supporters were not going to support the Democratic nominee. I'm hoping that we can get some of those people to support Joe, but it would be helpful if Joe acknowledged, because one of the weaknesses of saying, hey, return to Obama years, is that there are many Americans that were getting left behind in those years too, and they're pissed off. And so if you just say, hey, I'm going to revert, that loses. To at least among that group of people.
I agree with
there are so many Americans who just don't think that our institutions are working for them at all. And Joe Biden's big weakness is that he represents those institutions. You know, I'm endorsing Joe. Like, we need Joe to beat Trump, but we'll have a much better chance of that if Joe recognizes that our institutions have been failing many Americans for a long time.